New photo of Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor with convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell has been released by the US Department of Justice as part of the Epstein files. James Matthews has more.
There you go, if you can see that. That is a group of individuals and most of their identities redacted.
The newly released Epstein files include many well-known names, but one image has struck especially hard within royal circles. It shows Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor in a black tie outfit, stretched across the laps of 5 women on a couch, smiling, relaxed, and clearly comfortable. Standing close by, looking down at him, is Ghislaine Maxwell. The photo is now spreading worldwide, not because it reveals something criminal, but because it visually contradicts what the Duke of York has denied for years. Ease, familiarity, and closeness with people and environments he has repeatedly said were exaggerated or misunderstood. The question royal observers are asking tonight is straightforward. If this scene was innocent, why does each new photograph make that claim harder to accept? The image comes from a newly released batch of material connected to Jeffrey Epstein, uploaded late Friday on the United States Department of Justice website.
That is a group of individuals and most of their identities redacted, but there is a woman standing in the back row, that's Ghislaine Maxwell. There is a man lying across the laps of the women sitting down, and you see it.
Thousands of documents and images were made public after a legal deadline under the Epstein Files Transparency Act. So many users attempted to access the records that the Justice Department's website briefly placed visitors into a digital waiting line. Among the released material is this image, a photo of a framed photograph, with its original setting still unknown. There is no date, no location, and no caption. Just Andrew, 5 unidentified women with blurred faces, and Ghislaine Maxwell positioned above him. Andrew is smiling openly. His face rests close to the uncovered legs of one woman. His body language is neither formal nor stiff. It appears relaxed, casual, and familiar. For years, Andrew has maintained that his ties to Epstein were limited, that he disliked the social environment, and that he did not participate the way others suggested. Yet this image communicates a different message, not through accusation, but through posture and presence. It depicts a man who looks completely at ease.
Virginia Giuffre, the woman who accused Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrew of crimes, has died, aged 41. Her family has issued a statement confirming she died by suicide at her farm near Perth overnight.
According to the Department of Justice, hundreds of thousands of records are expected to be released, though officials say some material will appear gradually to protect victims and unrelated individuals. This photograph was included in the first batch. Andrew withdrew from royal duties in late 2019, following his widely criticized Newsnight interview, an appearance palace insiders later described as a turning point. In that interview, he attempted to explain his connection to Epstein and denied accusations from Virginia Giuffre, who said she encountered him as a teenager through Epstein. Andrew has always denied those claims, but denial has never been the central issue. Credibility has. Since that interview, Andrew has largely stayed out of public view. Some say he was shielded by Queen Elizabeth II, then later stripped of public roles under his brother's reign. His HRH style was removed, his remaining military roles were returned, and his public funding was ended. Even so, he chose silence. That silence has drawn renewed criticism in recent weeks after U.S. lawmakers publicly urged him to cooperate with Epstein-related inquiries. Reports suggest he missed a response deadline. Now, as these images circulate, that silence feels louder than ever. The photograph itself does not show a crime, it carries no direct allegations, but it reveals a social closeness Andrew has repeatedly minimized. He is not standing politely nearby, he is not mid-conversation. He is lying across several women in a black tie setting, with Maxwell present and smiling. That raises an uneasy question. If this was a harmless social moment, why has Andrew spent years distancing himself from everyone involved? The exact time and place of the image remain unknown, which matters. The Justice Department has provided little background for many of the released materials, but the lack of context cuts both ways, because without explanation, the image speaks clearly on its own. It shows familiarity, comfort, and blurred boundaries that conflict with Andrew's later claims that he barely knew Maxwell, disliked Epstein's social world, and kept his distance. Royal observers will recall Andrew once described staying at Epstein's New York home after Epstein's conviction as a mistake, framing it as poor judgment rather than deep involvement. Images like this strain that explanation. It is also notable that Ghislaine Maxwell, now serving a long prison sentence in the United States, appears relaxed and central in the photo. She is not on the edge of the scene. She is clearly part of it. That matters because Andrew has previously tried to separate his relationship with Epstein from Maxwell, as if one did not imply the other. This image suggests otherwise. The file release follows months of political pressure in the U.S. to make Epstein-related material public. Officials say not every document will bring new revelations, but transparency is now required by law. As one Justice Department official explained, the materials include court records, photographs, footage, and investigative files, released not for spectacle, but because the law demands it. Andrew remains a public figure with a heavily damaged reputation. Each new release does not reset the story, it adds weight. This image will likely join a small group that defines public memory. The Newsnight interview, the photo of Andrew with his arm around Virginia Giuffre, and now this one. None require commentary. They simply exist. And that is why they matter.
And the man, formerly the Duke of York, that's the first time we have seen him in this current tranche of files, the British connection. I can tell you there is more to the British connection, Matt. That comes in Jeffrey Epstein's contacts book. And I do stress again that to be in Epstein's contacts book does not indicate or reflect anything to do with his criminal activity at all. It merely tells us that these names and numbers were in his contact book, frankly. But
so here's the question for you. Does this image change how you view Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, or does it simply reinforce what you already believed? Do you think more revelations are still coming? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to stay up to date on royal family news, make sure to subscribe.